let's just pile on shit after shit to
Yeah,
make
let's
this
just
car
with the
crazy.
car world.
All right, and welcome to Coconut's episode 6 of our Side View podcast. And today we are tasked by our producers. So every week, right, they try to be funny. Because our shop name, it was a pun intended that we are named Coconut because we started off just doing coating. Then we've branched out to do a few more other services. So today we have to review a coconut drink, and it will be on every podcast we'll do it lah.
So it looks like a bear brick.
Yeah, it looks
The
like a
photo
bear
is
brick.
quite cute.
And it's by Shock Cup.
Shock Cup.
I would like to say it is not sponsored. It's not sponsored.
So
we just
wing.
okay. So we have drank like Mr. Coconut. That's what everybody drank. Then there's what others?
What drink is this?
There's a few others.
Coconut milk with what?
Just coconut milk.
Coconut milkshake.
So basically, I saw very cute and I was a bit thirsty, so I went ahead to drink a little bit first. I was taken aback. Like, I think it's a bit wild that there's this like pearl-like thingy with a sago inside. So personally, I like red ruby a lot, but the exterior of a red ruby is like tapioca, if I'm not wrong, or pearl-like. So I think it's one damn nice. Should I like suck and show them how the ball looks like that? So to me, this is the champion.
This is the champion winning factor.
Yeah. What makes the drink good? I give this upon 5. I give it a 4.5. But I think the ball like overpower everything else lah. If it's just a drink or what, right? Then maybe there are nicer coconut drinks out there.
My review is a bit more fair.
Ah.
I like the ice blended kind more. Which is the Mr. Coconut and all that. So I would say that this one it's a bit not too sweet as well. And I'm also because I have a sweeter tooth as compared to the normal ordinary tooth. So I would say that that's so my opinion is a bit biased. So I would prefer if it's a little bit more sweet. I would prefer if the drink is ice blended. Yeah.
This is 50% sugar.
Oh wow.
I don't like sweet, so to me this is like just
Okay, so
right.
maybe mine is 75%. Mine should be 75%.
Then it gives off like a bit of a chendol vibe.
Yeah. So there's a bit of a chendol vibe because of the green
quite
color.
xiang
Yeah.
coconut milk. So I think not bad
So you all can check out Shock Cup.
yeah, but the
Really
pearl,
not sponsored.
But
But just thought it's okay. It's quite cool.
But
cute.
the pearl is, you don't know the pearl,
I mean,
it's like
it's
special.
normal.
Then
to
like
me.
inside the pearl burst already got a bit nyam. That's why I like lah. Alright, and
Let's move on to the next segment where we have to talk about 3 cars.
okay. So the 3 cars are the Lamborghini, if I never pronounce it wrongly. The Koenigsegg Gemera. Is it Gemera? No. Gemera is the Guardians of the Galaxy one. But Gemera, right? Gamora wrong. Gamora is the Star-Lord's girlfriend. Guardians of the Galaxy. Alright, and the last model, we have the Prius. So just a little bit of a backstory. These 3 are hybrid cars.
Yes.
Obviously, the Prius and the Lambo and the Koenigsegg is of like extreme scales in terms of performance and most importantly, price. You're researching what are you looking at? You're watching the Gemera. Gemera. What's this?
This is the literal exhaust sound of the Revuelto on the Lambo's website.
You put it to your mic. Here. Wow. It's a V12, right?
V12.
Okay,
V12
sounds
hybrid.
Good. Sounds good. I think Prius should up their game.
Oh, but so they say that the car is not offered for sale yet, and because they are still at the emission stage and getting approval.
But it is sold out as well.
Apparently, like the pre-bookings have been pre-booked as well during the pre-booking stage. So it has been pre-booked 0 to 100 in 2.5 seconds. for the Lamborghini Revelto. If I didn't spell wrongly, yeah.
The
I
next car
pronounced
is
it
the Koenigsegg Gemera.
Koenigsegg Gemera. Okay, so the Koenigsegg Gemera, it's interesting in a way is that there is a normal electric motor that produces about 700 plus horse already. And then there is an additional twin turbo engine, if I'm not wrong, from what I see here. And if you turn on the both of them, and it has a combined horsepower of 1,500 horsepower.
How about the top?
I'm not at the page.
Okay, later
Yeah.
we will put the top
Yeah.
over there lah.
So the top speed is about 350 kilometers per hour, thereabouts. So emission and everything and consumption is still being tested.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So this is the difference. So the Lambo is 2-seater. Then the Koenigsegg
it's a 4-seater.
is a 4-seater. So we just casually built a 4-seater hypercar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they are thinking like 2-seater, not as interesting. Let's do a 4-seater hypercar.
So basically, you have 4 people puking after they exit the car.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because like before Teslas came, we are so used to petrol or turbos having that a bit more natural because that's what we are used to.
Internal
Then suddenly,
combustion. Yeah.
Tesla came along with that instantaneous torque from the battery.
Which caused a lot of passengers
Yeah, it
to puke.
even those like don't get car sick one, right? In a Tesla, it's like when they are not exactly used to it or don't know what to expect, it's a bit
And also with the regenerative braking is not
comfortable until you're used to it, of course. Then I mean personally, it is a crazy comfortable car with the no noise, it's so quiet and everything. Alright, and of course we have the Prius as well. So I'm always a fan of nicely made, comfortable daily drive cars, which I'm sure the Revelto and the Gemera may not be as comfortable as the Prius.
Okay, so the all-new Prius, the cool thing is that there is an all-wheel drive option and a rear-wheel drive option. So, both are about the same number of horsepower. 0 to 100 is about 7 seconds or so. So, and that's the best part. The best part is that this car is only going for about 20,000+ in the US. Which means, I mean, it's essentially it looks like a Model 3 to be fair. But it looks like a way better Model 3 with the glass roof, full glass sky roof and all that stuff.
Okay,
It looks like a...
If you guys don't share the love for the new Prius yet, right? Y'all can Google like how the Prius with white body kit looks like. Wow,
or even just the
looks
normal
crazy.
Prius, the newest one is insane.
The latest one.
It does not look like a Prius at all.
Yeah, correct. With the lights and all.
Imagine seeing the models of these Prius on the roads as
Makes me want to
every day.
Makes me want to buy it because of its look. Because like there's no other than the Tesla, which looks very slick, very new. It's a new concept that's upcoming over past few years. But the Prius, I feel is a game changer. And Toyota, I would say did it right from the price point to the design to everything so far for the new Prius
So it's about 7 seconds, which is pretty damn fast already. Then I think it's just getting better and better. So I mean, so if we
in
just
Singapore, road 7 seconds enough.
Yeah,
I feel really enough.
So you don't have so we definitely obviously we cannot compare the Prius with the Lamborghini Revelto and the Koenigsegg Gemera, right? We exclude the Prius from this. Now of course the Prius is an everyday drive. The fuel consumption is good. Everything is great. It's really a passenger-oriented car. Okay, so we move on to
that too.
a combination of the Lambo and the Prius would be the Koenigsegg Gemera with insane horsepower at 1,500 combined with an internal combustion engine and an electric motor. 1,500 horsepower.
At this point,
four passenger in the car. 2.5 seconds.
At this point, they are
Is it
just
2.5
like,
seconds?
about there But I think Koenigsegg is just like, let's just pile on shit after shit to make this car.
Let's just with the car world. Build a 4-seater car with 1,500 horsepower.
If petrol is not enough, we add a EV engine.
Put a hybrid engine, put a hybrid engine down.
Combine them together.
Make it look like a supercar.
800 horse is not enough, we do 1,004 horse. Okay lah, it's basically crazy. But then in Singapore, the difficulty to get a Koenigsegg in is crazy. And because of our tax, the tax is like progressive. It increases exponentially. So we have 100%, 140%, 180%. Of course, cars like the Lambo and the Koenigsegg will just hit the 180% mark. So to get that in, especially when it's limited edition, especially when what the reverters already sold out, the pre-book, we even like if we have like few $1 million to spare, we can't even kind of pre-book it and like get it on the roads. To get an Enzo in Singapore, there's only that few Enzos. So not as, relevant, these kind of like limited edition sports cars are in. But I think the whole point of talking about this is how much hybrid has transformed the car industry, how it's going forward. And then I think through hybrid, then it's only easily possible to hit crazy numbers like 1,004 horse.
And also reduce emissions where it meets with authorities' regulations.
Yep.
I think that's the beauty of this whole thing at this point of time.
Yep. And I also think like in Singapore's context, we may not be fully functional to go full electric because there's charging needed and stuff like that. So the beauty of hybrid currently, we are talking about now 2023 . In my opinion, if you want a comfortable drive and all carbon emissions, you like the safety of, there's enough power, there's good torque, hybrid is definitely the way to go. You can just still go to a petrol station. The carbon emissions, all this for EV, a hybrid is always good. Like a normal CHR, you can get what, like 20 km per liter. And the drive, when we drive up to Malaysia, it's just comfortable. When you need that a little bit more speed to get to your destination a little faster and something, it's also possible. And it doesn't feel like, it's being overworked compared to like the older petrol cars or what, you go 100, then the RPM already at 3,000, already like that already. So in Singapore's context right now, I don't know what you think for EV and hybrid, but hybrid,
I think hybrid is currently the best.
Yeah, it's the best of both worlds.
It's really the best, like currently existingly. Yeah. I also agree that infrastructure is still developing for electric cars. It's going to take time. Hybrid is the sweet spot for now. Maybe for the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, but we shouldn't underestimate Singapore's speed for improving infrastructure as well. So yeah, maybe we can give it 3 to 5 years, but who knows, in the next year or two, the electric charging, compared to like last year or 2 years ago, even with COVID and everything, how we are able to get the number of new charging stations in like random car parks and stuff has increased very exponentially. So nothing to complain about. Maybe we can get battery operated cars soon. But that being said, until we reach there, I like hybrid, and I also like battery because it's even quieter. The torque is even more instantaneous. So I don't know, but I still think you need a bit petrol hit. So you still need the vroom, vroom, vroom.
I still need the RPM.
The sound,
I need the RPM.
So like the CHR don't even have RPM.
I definitely need the RPM.
Yeah, so you need like personal clock. Today, how many thousand I can clock like
that? If not, something is off. Yeah. Alright,
and that is a topic for today. The 3 cars, extreme ends, but then linking it to Singapore, linking it to how difficult it is to get the Revuelto and the Gemera, and how expensive, insanely expensive, I can only imagine it to be. It is what it is. But the Prius, we have seen it from our parallel importers now already. It just, it's if I can afford it, it will be definitely quite high on the list that I'll get affordable as well. Yep.
So we move on to the next topic. Next topic is a bit more out of the automotive side of things. So we wanted to talk a bit about the recent current affairs of Singapore.
So when they give us this topic, we were like,
it's time to talk about some things. So there were quite a few political scandals. In terms of the affairs
but I mean, it's not sensitive as well at this point of time because
it has passed.
Both parties have resigned over that matter, and they have said oh, I'm sorry, that kind of thing. We are like that, so they have resigned lah. So it has passed that, but we are still on social media, so we try to ride on that wave, I would say.
I think if I were to weigh things properly, I think public officers are generally held to a higher standard in terms of the public opinion. So because of the higher standards they are held to, there are a lot of things that are quite common for the ordinary people. I would say common, like going through a divorce, or even, for example, having an affair is something that I wouldn't say it's normal, but I would say that if it was an ordinary person,
it will not have as much backlash.
Yes. It wouldn't be that much of a backlash. And also because we all have this perceived image of how our politicians should be. I'm not defending any sides at this point of time. I think this thing has passed way long in certain aspects, right? So I think it's just a matter of, firstly, I feel that public servants are firstly held to a higher standard.
Definitely lah. I mean, simply put it, NS, regulars have to go through IPPT in a more stringent process. They cannot fail as much and stuff like that because it's healthy living is the way to go, discipline is involved and stuff like that. So for a regular, all these standards are already implied on them. Then bluntly put it, they are political leaders. So they are kind of representing our country one way or another. So if the topic is mentioning, let me present you with something. A scandal like this, extramarital affairs, compared to the extramarital affairs in, let's say, an MNC or something like that. Should they get as much backlash? Is this just frowned upon as a concept? Or how strongly do you feel? Based on what you say, right, I believe that you also think that political leaders should have a certain standard lah. But how strongly do you feel that?
Okay. So firstly, the idea is, as always, don't shit where you eat lah. There's this saying lah. So if you don't shit where you eat, right, then generally you avoid these kind of things.
So if you go to a coffee shop, you cannot use the coffee shop toilet to release.
Generally, that's the idea lah. Generally, don't shit where you eat lah.
If you very urgent,
so basically, you go to workplace to eat per se. So don't shit there also lah. That's the general idea is like that lah. Right. So and it's also not that we don't encourage workplace relationships lah, but
so you encourage
as business owners or as employers or someone that manages businesses, the idea is that if your employees are dating each other, when the relationship goes bad, it goes back together to the job as well, because you may not know how each individual react.
I mean, to a certain extent lah, we cannot say that for everyone.
Like if for example, if I were working and if I broke up with someone at the workplace, it's quite likely that I will resign from the workplace as well. For me personally. So I think this is where we generally don't encourage, or I think bosses would not encourage. Yeah. And okay, so this is where of course if you tie it to in relation to what's happening, I think the bigger issue is you are the Speaker of Parliament, right? You are supposed to be impartial in these sittings and recordings, right? But now it is seen that you are in a relationship with a particular side party member. So I think it's not so much about the affair. It's more of the perception when you are supposed to be impartial, when you're supposed to be fair.
So that being said, your point is that even if we are not talking about a political party or being political leaders, if you are talking about a normal, let's say, MNC or like GSK or Procter & Gamble, for example, if you are a normal manager, you shouldn't be in a relationship with be it a superior or one of your employees.
I think generally, absolutely. I think if you were to follow by strict professional ethics, right? I think this is also one of the lines that we try to draw, or if not at all, draw at all times, right? So I think if you want to get into that situation, then you have to be prepared for the backlash eventually when the relationship ends.
So your point is, be it in parliament or be it in a normal work setting,
Yes.
the seriousness of the matter is equal.
I would say that the practice should be equal. The practice guidelines should be equal.
The moral should be equal.
Yes, but then again, but depending on the environment, then this is where things are magnified. So of course you're literally in parliament where you are democratically voted in, and then everyone's on you, eyes is on you. We have recordings everywhere, live parliamentary sessions and stuff like that.
I've kind of like a differing opinion from you. I feel like if it's in a normal workplace, of course I'm not saying extramarital lah. If you are talking about just relationships in general, I mean, who is to say that if there's any problems in a relationship, it affects work, if they are professionals about it. But don't get me wrong, I'm saying extramarital affairs is wrong across the board. Just that, of course, in parliament or in a political career, it just gets magnified.
So the extramarital affair in a marriage is wrong per se. It's also and this is also particularly magnified in a Singapore context, where we are still pretty much quite conservative as Singaporeans. We still live in a pretty conservative society. So extramarital affairs are, I would say that it's rampant in the European countries or the Western countries, right? So I really think that in Singapore it's magnified per se as well, due to
more naturally traditional mindsets that we have lah.
Yes. So actually, so I would say that the only problem, the only issue I have is, actually, to be honest, I really don't give a shit on the opposition side, because they are literally like both from the same party. So it's basically just a workplace affair per se. So the only issue is really with the ruling party, where it is literally the person that is supposed to be impartial is together with someone that is
so naturally you have a side already.
So it be steered like you are taking a side.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the only thing. If you really just scrutinize this whole thing, right, the only idea why this would have blown up, right, is because of this. Right? If there was an affair, which I believe there was, given that the facts have been laid out, then if there was an affair, then so be it. But it's because it is being seen as being biased or steered towards a certain direction when you are supposed to be impartial. I think that's the problem.
So let me pose you another interesting concept. What if it is not extramarital, which means they are single?
It is still not encouraged.
Okay, let's put aside the Speaker of Parliament one. Let's put aside there's nothing wrong. They are not attached. They are not together with anyone or what.
But will they still be in their positions where they are?
No, the Speaker aside, I want to talk about the opposition one where they are just within the same party.
Yep.
What are your views? A more light-hearted and interesting concept. I feel that party within, they don't have families on their own. They don't have any boyfriend.
I think
or
it's absolutely fine.
It's okay.
I think it's fine.
Within.
Yes. But
So,
it's just that personally I would prefer not to.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Then in a workplace, be it MNC, it's also okay.
It's still okay.
But what if I ask you that, is it of the same magnitude that you think it is okay for a normal workplace and when you are a political leader?
It's not, the magnitude is not the same. It's absolutely not the same. Yeah, and we are definitely, as I said earlier, our political leaders, our public servants are always held to a higher standard.
Yes.
So you've already lost in a public court of opinion. There's no way to turn this back around. It is what it is, right? you would just have to mitigate on the PR end and come out and resign and put your letters in and stuff like that. Forget the part whether this was a whole political setup. I mean, that's a story for another day. But if you just talk about strict workplace guidelines and even parliamentary guidelines, and even being members of parliament, your ethics and your guidelines, I'm quite sure they have a book on this. A rule book on this or something. Yeah, so it's
do's and don'ts.
Yeah, literally do's and don'ts. So I'm quite sure this is in one of those sentences.
So what will you say about this statement that I'm going to post to you next? The first statement is in a normal company setting, in my opinion, a normal company setting, if there's a relationship ongoing where there's no cheating or anything involved, something nice can happen. So it is okay. To me,
I would say that it's okay.
Yeah,
but then I would not encourage it.
Okay, so that's what I would say. I would think it's okay. I would not encourage or not disencourage also.
Okay.
But my next statement is that if you're a political leader in a member of parliament, you have already put yourself in a position, right, whereby you clearly know the do's and don'ts. You clearly know the repercussions of your actions. So even if you're not married or what, you're not in a relationship or what, right? In that particular setting, it really should not happen.
Because
this is my statement.
Because sometimes as men we use the other brain to think. Which is why it results in situations like
so
this.
So you got use your other brain to think.
I think
do you say all the while?
I think most of the guys.
Do we have to? Okay, this one confirm. Our producer will cut this. Do you use the other brain to think? Then Sylvester all say all the while. Okay, so we need to be careful.
He uses the other brain to think.
You say all the while. Yeah. You never even bother to like cushion it a little bit.
No. I own the fact.
All the while. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so we come back to the main point. I think the standard is always held higher.
Yep,
in public office.
Definitely.
So, like I said, as what Acer said, I think if it was even an extramarital affair in a workplace, I think
it's off already. It's not right really.
It's not right. But then again, I don't think it would warrant that much interest and attention, I think, to begin with in the first place.
No, but I mean, you are in the political party. You are doing politics. So all this, you are being scrutinized. So to me, it is so far-fetched that I think, and anyway, this is just my own humble opinion, right? But I feel that as people that is leading the country, even a workplace relationship, no matter how much there's some sparks flying or what, it should not be done really.
It should be discouraged.
To you, it's discouraged. To me, it shouldn't be done
in the first place
because I mean, they are not forced upon governing jobs. This is the path that they chose. Like if you choose to be a monk, you don't go and complain to say like why do I have to be, what do you call it, chastity, something along these lines. Yeah, but this monk chose to be a monk, to practice the ways and on what he believes in and stuff like that, to improve his life, to find inner peace and stuff like that. You chose to be a political leader. Simply put it, act like one. I mean, if you can't control this little, maybe a lot of urge. But to me, I'm extreme to the extent whereby even a workplace relationship within a political party should not be done, not even discouraged, because they are being trusted as political leaders that are making key decisions on the country, be it they are from the opposition or be it they are from PAP, because they are just simply not forced in that scenario, not put in that scenario. They have chose this life and therefore they get this life. If you want a normal workplace relationship, nobody's going to say anything if it's not cheating or anything, if it's not extramarital. If it's on a normal company, yeah, it's good. I think colleagues will be happy for you. Oh, you're finally together with David. Hey, congratulations. Please invite us to your wedding. And probably the whole company will turn up and celebrate this very nice coming together of two people. Yeah, so okay, suddenly I'm a little bit passionate about this, but that is that's my point lah. We will not go into details of like what happened and stuff like that. But basically, workplace relationships to me, fine. But then if you're talking about in the political scene or what, we are not saying you cannot find a wife or husband, but basically find outside people of outside of the political scene. Yeah, so that's my point. Do you
Yes.
Do you have any just like that?
So I'm nothing to add on to what Excel is saying.
Yep.
I think we pretty much we get a gist, right, of what's going on. We state our opinions. So I think that summarizes.
But if there's anything, sorry to cut. But then if there's anything to say on a lighter note,
like, don't think with your other head.
If you are of
do not think with your other head.
I mean, not say other head. Maybe it can be the female as well.
Do not
but now
think with your other head.
No. Now we cannot say female also because there are like 65 different types of how they want to be identified as and it's just increasing and increasing day by day. So I read the ridiculous one. I read one 65-year-old man wants to be identified as a 6-year-old girl.
I think that sounds pretty damn good lah, to be fair.
So now I say like...
So we cannot specifically state any gender, but what I can say in the most generic way is don't think with the other head lor. I guess so lah.
Yeah. And
whether you are whatever gender or identification that you would prefer.
Yeah, or just, I don't know, like they have promising careers. It's so difficult for the opposition to get like a GRC which they have been fighting for like since I was born or before. I'm not sure.
Yep.
So they're at that position, a fairer position whereby I feel like they can act
there's potential.
They can act as a voice, a check and balance one way or another. I'm not saying like Democrats and Republicans, you are fighting half, and then there's so many friction involved. I'm definitely not saying that, but then there's kind of like an opposition presence. Yeah, there was exactly.
There was a lot of potential.
And if we talk about our speaker, then he's qualified to be the next president.
He's more than qualified.
So I wouldn't say I'm old lah, but then
I think
to the
pity.
younger generation, just don't. Okay, basically it's just don't make decisions that you would really regret when you have worked so hard to put yourself in that favorable position.
Yes.
If anything to take away from this whole thing, it will be that lah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel so.
All right.
In conclusion,
all right. So I think that summarizes our podcast episode. Always great talking about current affairs and a bit of the automotive side of things. We are looking to get a guest on or something.
I think it will happen soon.
Yes. So let us know who you would like us to invite to the podcast, or even let us know like what kind of topics you want us to talk about. Send us a photo, send us a video, get us a comment on it. We will be happy to share our opinion and thoughts. All right.
On the 7,472,000 viewers that are watching our podcast.
Yes.
So.
All right. That's all.
All right. And that wraps up our Coconut Side View podcast episode 6. I don't say these they will not wrap one.
Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Like, share, and subscribe.